Good morning, everybody. Stu Smith here, going live. Hope you guys are well today. Um, First day after the Olympics. That was a fun one. Um, Man, what a great 3 weeks. I was almost glad I caught COVID because it forced me to just sit on my butt and watch Olympics all day. But anyway, I'm much better now after COVID. But had fun watching the Olympics. And speaking of fun, topic today I wrote, and if you look in the description over here on YouTube, you can kind of see some of what I'm going to talk about in this article I wrote this week on making fitness more fun. If you need it, not everybody needs it. I know personally, I've been working out now for 42 years. Yeah, I started working out at 13 and really never missed many workouts. Like I never went you know, more than a week. I think maybe I caught the flu one year and missed a week or you never missed. It was just one of those things that you just did. It became part of your life and you made it fun with progress. You made it fun with trying out new things, new lifts, new cardio activities, and that always was exciting. So, not everybody has that same feeling when it comes to fitness, and I get it. So here's 5 ways to make it a little more fun. And I'm just going to go through these real quick as you guys hop on, and then we'll take your questions, and it can be about anything. But my question for you are, what are ways for you to make it fun if you need to make it fun? So be open to new ideas. Some people sign up for CrossFit. Some people start playing pickleball. Some people do videos on in the comfort of their living room. You don't have to start off your fitness journey with running and lifting weights or doing calisthenics even. It can be group classes, hiking in nature, dancing, whatever that is. Um, so be open to new ideas. It doesn't have to be one thing that you consider fitness. Fitness can be a variety of things, so many things. And something you're interested in. Try to go into that path and see what you can do, because the goal is, no matter what you select, is just be consistent with it, because that will win the day more than anything. Consistency wins. Bring a friend. I will tell you this: it is very nice to wake up in the morning knowing that there are 15, 20 people waiting on me to go work out with them and put them through a training plan. And I've been doing that for probably, I don't know, 20, 25 years. And then prior to that, I always had workout partners, teammates, things like that, that just help. And yeah, you got to learn how to work out by yourself as well. And sometimes it's just one of those things that is peaceful, it's relaxing. Maybe you get some of your best PRs or your thinking done when you need to just get away from people. There's nothing wrong with that either. But if you really want some help with your fitness, bring a friend, bring a like-minded friend, join a club that has group training, boot camp classes, spin classes. There's so many out there. CrossFit World is, all about the community. So consider all that. Pickleball, that's probably the biggest, social activity. That's probably the most popular one right now, is just learning to play pickleball. You definitely get your social part of your, which will help your mental health as well. So it's not all just physical health, mental health, for being a little bit more social. Set meaningful goals. Doesn't have to be weight loss. It could be something that really means something, like you're raising money in a walkathon against cancer, or favorite charity, Navy SEAL Foundation. Help a friend do couch to 5K. Run a 5K with a friend. all of those things take the me out of fitness for you, and it just gives you a little bit bigger meaning on why you need to go do something and go prepare for it. I like those. I think those are a great way to go. In fact, unfortunately, I know some people that just can't exercise unless they are doing something like that. Now, that's probably the other end of the spectrum. Like if they're not signed up for a race or they're not signed up for, you know, Navy SEAL swim or something, they have a hard time preparing for nothing, right? And just training. So there's a spectrum on that one as well. So, be careful on that one. Stay mentally occupied with music, podcast, audiobooks. That's kind of an easy one. If you need a little extra mind distraction from repetitive exercises, it's not a bad one. Invest in your fitness. Go shopping, right? That's always fun. Buy new clothes, especially if you grew out of them. You lost weight and now you need a new pair of pants, new belt. New running shoes are always fun. I always feel like I'm going to be a little faster when I buy a new pair of running shoes. So that makes it fun. Now, there's also the other end of that spectrum is saving money. And what I mean by that is you don't have to buy new clothes because you stopped gaining weight and your old clothes now fit you. So now you can wear some of the things you haven't worn in the last few years or a decade even, as long as they're still in style, I guess. So there's a spectrum on that too. Save money, spend money. It's all fun. Buy a home gym. Buy equipment for your home gym. That's always a fun investment. Kind of motivates you to feel like you're doing it. Another big one is hire a trainer. That is one of those things that you're actually putting in significant amount of money in some cases, and sometimes that is just the thing that you needed to do. Like I spent all this money, I need to show up. I'm just wasting money. Some people get motivated by that. But there's also that spectrum where you can't work out on your own unless you have a trainer. Seen that happen as well. So, you got to learn how to work out on your own, especially in some of these. But yeah, that's where I'm going with this article. Just something to give people an idea. Probably not for most of you who are listening. Um, most of you guys who are listening are probably preparing for service. That's a great one, that makes fitness a little more meaningful. Because I will tell you this, if you ever tell me that I just can't get motivated to train, I really want to be a Army Ranger or SF or Navy SEAL or FBI agent. I'm like, first of all, stop. Because, if your fitness one day can be a difference between life or death between you, your buddy, for your person that you're trying to rescue. So your fitness is that important. Also, your tactical training will come in even more handy for that. But if that doesn't motivate you to go train, that one day your fitness could be a determining factor on survival or not, then you might want to consider another profession. And I tell that to anybody who gives me the old, just can't get motivated to train and I want to serve. Think about that, right? It's a little reverse psychology I use, so I'm hoping that, spurs them to say, oh, yeah, I need to snap out of that thinking. Never thought of that, and, that just gives you another reason to train that's beyond you, right? It is bigger than you. And I think that is a great way to make fitness a little more fun, a little more doable, a little more meaningful. And you just get it done and you learn how to build consistency just from building some of those good habits. All right, so let's take some questions. Got some questions over here on Instagram, got questions over here on Facebook and YouTube. If you got to go early over here on Instagram, unfortunately these videos don't get saved over there. But if you go over to YouTube, they're saved 2 a week. I usually post a live video Q&A. So if there's anything that you think you want to hear, want to not miss, go over to the YouTube channel, sign up for that, subscribe, and then you guys can get notifications that, hey, I'm going live. Get ready for the next Q&A. All right, so rucking is to me the most fun as well as challenging things I do. Put in some Katy Perry firework and you're good for 6 hours. That's a lot of Katy Perry. Hey man, whatever floats your boat, I love it. Rucking is something that can burn a lot more calories than just walking. So and build some fundamental foundational strength too. So great choice of activities. Purely training without fun competitive element was tough for me. CrossFit and kickboxing made training and progress more fun. Appreciate the topic. Yeah. Jogging for Frogman is a blast to put together with friends. Yeah, man. Anything with a purpose, I'm telling you, it's a good time. All right, so we got some more questions over here. I'm reading Pavel's Enter the Kettlebell in order to make fitness more fun. Hey, he's got some great ideas with the kettlebell. I have learned many things from some of his exercises and techniques and the science he pulls from many of the his studies. He's solid for sure. He and I wrote a couple articles together over the years. You can find them. I think we did one on military.com, one on his page, one on my page, and they're all pretty good. He tends to like the ladder versus the pyramid, and I can see why. I like his ladder idea. Basically, you know how I do a pyramid 1 to 10 back down to 1. That's one way to get 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats if you're doing a 1 2 3 multiplication of each set of that 19 set workout. But it is difficult. That 8 9 10 9 8 7 is really a tough, but it's a peak. That's one reason I love the pyramid is you warm up, you peak, and then you cool down. It's a great process. Now, his way of thinking is, and he's not he doesn't hate the pyramid. He just says, hey, let's try the ladder and see how this works. And I see where he's going with it because he does a ladder 1 to 10, and then after 10, you start back over at 1 and work your way back up to 10 again. And it's a really good method of, like, if you haven't quite built your muscle stamina up to where it is, it's a great way to get all the reps in with a little mid workout break recovery time in those first few sets again, and then you can peak again and get some more volume, because at the end of the workout the goal is more volume, and he'll even add a third 1 to 10 in there and crank up the volume even higher. So it's a great way to do it. So let's see, for over unders, is it acceptable to use scissor kick instead of breaststroke kick? It seems to be more efficient for me. You and I are the same, Devin. I will tell you this. I'm assume you're Devin. I'm a better scissor kicker than I am breaststroke kicker. Many swimmers are really good at breaststroke because they spent a lifetime in the pool learning that frog kick. Whereas if you spent a lifetime of your athletics on land, running and jumping and doing things like that, chances are your hips are better developed for a more powerful scissor kick. Now, there's nothing wrong with taking some time and learning the breaststroke kick. Sure, do that. In fact, I recommend it because it's going to help you with the egg beater kick if you want to learn the egg beater. So my advice is this. Yeah, do the scissor kick. If you're in deep water, it's real easy to do the scissor kick. Just kick towards the bottom, kick towards the surface, as long as it's like a 9 or 10 foot water and you're floating around there around 5 feet deep. That's the easy way to do it. However, you have to go into the shallow end. You can't do that where you're going to kick the bottom and your back leg's going to come out the surface. So you do have to go to your side and do like a little side scissor kick and just kind of rotate and glide, not quite on your side, but maybe like at 45-degree angle in that shallow end versus being on your belly and kicking like this. So that's how I do it. I'm a much better scissor kicker than I am breaststroke kicker, so go for it. All right, a couple more over here on YouTube. Been waiting. Good morning. Have a question. My name is Raphael, 21. Just graduated university, and my dream is to become a PJ and not an athlete. Okay, I don't see a question in that. But I have an answer for you if that's your journey right here. Air Force Special Warfare, crush the IFT and the OFT. Those are 2 fitness tests that you will have to take in your journey, as well as learn a lot of pool skills and swimming, and it's all in that program right there. And if you need videos to get better at swimming, that's one thing I do. A ton of YouTube videos, Instagram videos, TikTok videos of me coaching various aspects of swimming, treading, underwater, side stroke, even some freestyle, if you need that. So my advice, if you're not an athlete and don't know how to swim, take swim lessons. Oh, and you say you're overweight, 20 pounds. What to do? Neither pro athlete, and am I late? No, 21. That's a great age to start training. I mean, be honest with you, it may take you a year, year and a half to really be a competitive member of that program. So be patient, get on a program. You might even want to start off with something called calisthenics and cardio. In fact, I got a good article here for you. Just check out this link here, and this might be a better place for you to start if you're not used to this type of athletics, high rep calisthenics, and then maybe later on you get into a lift cycle, something that helps you still maintain your IFT scores, but increases strength as well. This would be considered a lift cycle. So my advice for someone who hasn't really done a whole lot, start off with cals and cardio, go into the Air Force Special Warfare program, and then go into the winter lift cycle, but specialized with IFT, PST maintenance as well. I find that process will probably take you, just if you followed every workout in those books, that's going to take you at least 10 months, and then we can reassess along the way and figure out what you need to work on next. And if you just start working out, you're going to lose that weight. My favorite motivating fitness purchase was my first pair of OG Night Cross trainers. Oh, I like them. Bo knows. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, the Bo Cross trainer. Yep, had a pair myself. Which of your guides would you say is good for someone that hasn't really worked out in a while but wants to start and hop in on Bud's prep course? I wouldn't jump into this one. Like I just mentioned to the Air Force guy, start off with cals and cardio, then jump into this. And then if you find you need to work on some strength, go into this. So it's the same process, just a little bit different there in the middle, because that's going to focus more specifically towards Bud's prep and the PST, and the Air Force one's going to do the same thing with the Air Force. Yep, you just answered your own question. That's one I would start off with. Okay, let's see. Good morning. How do you address the feeling of not being good enough when training to tactical career fields? It seems like all is fear and discipline lately. My advice is actually assess yourself and ask the question, what is good enough? Stu Smith. So I'm going to take that question and send you an article. In fact, check out this article. It is titled, What is Good Enough? So if you can do this, and then I have a what is good enough strength part 2. So I got a like cals and cardio, endurance, muscle stamina, what is good enough, and then a strength, what is good enough. And believe me, when I say good enough, I'm not trying to say, oh, don't worry about working out. this is good enough. No, no, no. This is like the actual opposite of that. You need to work out hard and get to this standard. And when you get to this standard, that is good enough. Now, what is that? Let's just say if you can run a mile and a half in under 9 minutes, that's good enough. You don't need to run it at 8 minutes. If you can, hey, that's great. That's something you're really good at. But I would say great at. Whereas, to be a good tactical athlete, you need to be good at everything. Not great at any one thing, but your athletic history may make you great at something. So don't double down on what you're great at and try to run a 7-minute mile and a half, 7:30 mile and a half. That's going to take way too much effort to do that. And you probably are neglecting strength and some body weight, some muscle size, things like that. So make sure you are diversifying your training and get good at everything. So that's how you answer that question. Actually assess yourself. And when you see you're not good enough at something, start focusing on that weakness. Hey Stu, I'm an Indian high schooler who aspires to join Indian Navy SEALs. I just can't seem to increase my push-ups. Can you suggest a good calisthenics workout? Yeah, I mean, I've been showing you a whole bunch of them. Navy PST workout, that's a whole lot of push-ups in there, but it's more than push-ups. Push-ups is just an easy event that you need to focus specifically on it, but there's so much more. There's pull-ups and there's core activity, there's strength, and there's running and swimming and rucking. So, don't get too focused in on just one thing that you need to improve on. If you're great at everything else, that's fine. We can focus on some push-ups, but still maintain everything else. But chances are you need to work on everything anyway, especially coming from, high schooler age. So that's what I do. Get on a program that focuses on everything. Next thing you know, you're getting better at everything, including push-ups. So the last thing you need to do is say, I'm just going to work on my push-ups, and then you start sucking at everything else. So make sure your program's diversified. Can you suggest a good calisthenics workout? Yeah, I have been doing that for the last 3 questions. So check out the calisthenics and cardio workout for starters. That's a lot of push-ups in there. And it's got the classic week of training where you do like a pyramid, a superset, a max rep set. There's even some things if you want to play around with a protocol that has 10 straight days of push-ups, followed by 3 days of rest, and you test on day 14. You gotta manipulate your workouts that you're in to do that. But it's a good one to if you really want to focus on uh, pushing the push-ups to a new level. That's another one. It's a protocol. In fact, I'll type it into the comment section over here. It's a just 2-week protocol. It's a supplemental plan. It's not a push-ups or pull-ups only plan. So make sure you are just supplementing extra push-ups into your workout, not just doing push-ups. Anthony says, "What's up, shipmate?" Hey, buddy. Let's see. By the way, hope the rain up your way. I'm in Virginia Beach. Went okay. Looks like Annapolis suffered a bit. Yeah, we were underwater for a little bit. Nothing too bad. I mean, Annapolis is used to high tide flooding downtown anyway. Not great, but it does disrupt some things. What's up, Stu Smith? Got my 500 yard down to 836. Nice. That's good. That's where you want to be. Yep, I'm also looking at YouTube as well. Do you find that people who are non-swimmers before they start your program progress a lot through your program? Yes. They need to learn how to swim at some point, whether that is coaching, personalized coaching, a swim coach, a buddy teaching you some techniques, or a thorough review of videos, having someone videotape you watching other people, um, do the swim, compare it to yours. There's a whole bunch of videos up on YouTube, up on Instagram as well, and up on TikTok. Nothing but CSS critique videos. So if yours don't look like some of those good ones, you need to fix it. But yes, I've had guys, put it this way. I've had guys who became SEALs who jumped in the pool, swam across the pool, got to the other end, excited that they got to the other end because that was the first time they ever swam across a pool. So if you're better than that right now, you're better than some people who are SEALs today. Can you suggest some good hip workout mobilities? I work to help someone who doesn't have buoyancy in assisting with treading. Yeah, have you not seen my treading might be a mobility issue article? Google treading might be a mobility issue, Stu Smith. In fact, I'll put the link in here. I know you can't click it over there at Instagram, but um, you can at least see that article. Those are the stretches I use to get people able to do the breaststroke kick, which in turn turns into an alternating breaststroke kick, which is also known as the egg beater. It's going to show you how to do the egg beater in there too. And it's not spinning your legs in a circle like this. It's actually spinning your legs in a circle like this, where you're pushing down so you go up. Spinning your legs like this isn't making downward force vectors. So you're just going to probably just get sucked under. Um, let's see. A couple more questions over here. All right, so hell yeah, and oh yeah, not sure what that is. Navy SEALs website says age limit is 28. Do they mean hitting 28 is the cap, or yeah, before you hit 29 to start getting an age waiver? Yeah, you can go into boot camp at 28 years old, turn 29 at boot camp, and you're fine. But as long as you join the Navy at 28, you're fine. But I will say this: there have been more age waivers lately. So you're right. That's what the website says. But I've seen age waivers in the 30s occur as well. But those are rare, and they're on a case by case basis. So my advice to anybody who is trying to join, whether you need an age waiver or not, if you want to be taken seriously by the recruiters who are going to do all the work to get you into the Navy and do the extra work to get an age waiver for you, or any waiver for that matter, medical waivers, moral waivers, for crimes you've committed, it's extra work for the recruiters. They're not going to take you seriously if you go in there and just completely fail the PST. They're like, why am I wasting my time? You better go in there, crush that PST, show them that, like, okay, we don't have to worry about this guy being a perennial PST failure until he ships. He's got that taken care of. We can put in some extra effort for him since, he's put in the effort to be here and be squared away on that. Obviously, if you're looking for other waivers, the fewer additional waivers, the better. Don't fail the ASVAB. Don't fail the PST. You're not going to get waivers for any of those anyway, but it's just an extra thing that's going to make them say no for whatever. So there you go. I've seen some people with who had committed a crime as a teenager, needed a medical waiver, and even had um, was a citizen but had family that were and from other countries, which requires additional security checks. So anyway, they will work with you if you are a good candidate. If you're not a good candidate, they're going to say, yeah, sorry, no age waivers. As someone who has 27 birthdays in December, would you say meeting competitive standards in about a year and a half is possible, or am I underestimating how difficult it is to hit those numbers? It's very possible. I've seen people do really well in the first 8 to 12 weeks. Go from failing everything to being competitive in everything. Um, but if you're having issues with swimming, make sure you're getting swimming instruction to be a better streamliner, better kicker, better proper arm pulls. All of those things matter for efficiency. Same with running, good stride, good arm swings, breathing rhythms, all those things are going to help you with techniques to be faster. So it's very possible. I've seen some guys do this in 6 months. The fastest I've ever seen it is about 3 months. But that's a D1 athlete who was squared away with all the fitness elements that he needed. He just needed to learn how to swim and tread, and got that done, and went and crushed everything. I don't always have access to a pool. I have a rower at my gym, though. Someone told me it's good dry land exercise. Yeah, it's not bad. I would say rowing and biking are probably two good options if you can't swim. I would say this: on upper body days, hit the rower. If you can't swim, on lower body days, hit the bike with high resistance, hard pedaling uh, to work the legs a little more on days that you would be swimming with fins. So if you notice how I create these workouts, a lot of days on the upper body days, we just swim without fins, a lot of 50-50 workouts where you do freestyle, CSS, a lot of conditioning without fins, treading water without fins, and then on leg days, we will top off leg days with a leg swim, fin, fin treading, all of those things that you're going to see again when you put on a pair of fins. And you do that for distance, which is also um, a good method to just get in shape for the type of things that you're going to see. Citrus Red says Stu's bench press plus push-up drop set got me to 90 plus. Might try that too. Yeah, what'd you start off with before you went to 90 plus? Because I will tell you, everybody that does that little workout with us, we'll do, like, let's say you can do 185 10 times. Can't do it 11, but you do it 10 times. All right, that's good. You would fail at 11. I don't want you to like fail till you can't do any. Just right to that, leave one in the hole. This is my last rep. I'm going to fail on the next one. Stop there and then roll off and see how many push-ups you can do immediately after. And I promise you that is going to feel just like it does when you're at that last 20 or 30 seconds of a 2-minute push-up test. It's a great way to get that feeling. Try those last 5 to 10 reps that really are hard to get. And it's just a great way to speed up some of the muscle stamina needs that you're going to have to do when you have a 2-minute push-up or sit-up test for that matter. Let's see. Good morning, Wanna wanted to know what level of swimming would show when someone is athletic enough to start one of the swimming programs and when one is ready to enlist. That's a good one. We build up, first of all, you may start off the first swim workout and not be able to finish a 500-yard swim without stopping. So if that's the case, then you're not ready to ship, right? That 500-yard warm-up is there for a reason. One, to show you that 500-yard swim is not a long distance swim. It's going to be your fitness test that you take. So you got to get used to it. So we make it part of the warm up. Then after that, we swim another 1,000, 1,500 yards in the 50-50 workouts or the swimming with fins. Sometimes we'll build up to 2,000, 2,500 swimming with fins right after that. So pretty much if you can do these workouts in there on the latter weeks as we progress through that, you're ready to ship. You know, see if you can do a 2 mile swim with fins. See if you can do open water swimming if it's safe where you live to do it. Thanks a lot for the push-up protocol. Hope to meet some U.S. SEALs as India one day. God bless USA. Ah, thank you. And not good luck with you. Finally passed PST for EOD. Maybe have another month or two until basic. Any recommendations on how to build bulletproof myself spec war selection? My advice is this: EOD is going to have a dive selection that's really hard. Make sure you are swimming a lot, doing swim PTs. That means hopping out every couple 100 yards, doing push-ups and sit-ups and flutter kicks with your mask full of water, doing over-unders, treading a lot. Make sure you can tread without your hands, without fins. You can tread without your hands with fins. All of those things are going to be seen again, so make sure you check that out. In fact, I wrote a pretty good article on dive prep selection on military.com a while back ago. How to become a better swimmer for dive school. Think this was it. Yeah, this is it. This is a good one. Check this out. So check out this article over here for dive school. Because you're going to be running, you're going to be log PT, you're going to do all that stuff, dive school. So I would say crank on it. Maybe even go a little bit higher and add in some, strength training with PST maintenance and prep as well. Burpee question. I've seen the Marine Corps bodybuilder 8 count. Many of your programs, but never seen Navy SEAL 10 count burpees. Just wondering what you think of those. Yeah, I mean, pretty much those have kind of morphed into each other. Back in my day, we didn't have burpees. No one called them burpees, just didn't do them. But we did 8 count bodybuilders. We even did 16 count bodybuilders, which meant you did 5 push-ups at the push-up section. Still an 8 count bodybuilder, but every time you did push-ups, you had to do 5 push-ups per rep. That was a lot of fun. So that's what we used to do. Now they may do burpees now. I know the 8 count bodybuilders are still done. So my advice is just do both. Get good at both. Some days make it a burpee. Some days make it a 8 count bodybuilder. How often do you recommend working on grip? What are your favorite core exercises? Working on grip. You can work core and grip at the same time. We do it with farmer walks. Deadlifting is a great way to work your core and grip. Hanging knee ups, core and grip. So I would say those are probably my big three grip exercises, and core exercises for that matter. But we also do flutter kicks and leg levers and scissors, sit ups. All of those are core slash hip flexor exercises that you're going to need. Just you need to get those strong, especially if you're preparing to swim with fins. A lot of hip flexors involved with that. So there's, some people say don't do sit ups. I personally think that if you're taking sit up tests, you should practice sit ups. You should do core exercises like flutter kicks and leg levers and scissors, because one, you're going to see them again. You're probably going to see them with wet pants and boots on, which are really hard to do, and you'll feel it right in your hip flexors, a little bit in your abs too, but mostly your hip flexors are going to be wrecked if you don't practice some of those hip flexor exercises. So that's what I would do. Not a question. Appreciate it, Stu. Just gave me a little extra motivation to keep on grinding. Oh, good job, man. During a 3-week 5x5 program, I consistently increased the weights on my pull ups, but by the end of the program, the number of my unweighted pull ups did not improve. What could be the issue? Well, my advice is go back into non weighted push ups now or pull ups now, and you'll probably see an improvement in that. You just worked on strength, especially if you were doing some weighted pulls in that program. So now you just got to add another layer of muscle stamina to it, and that tends to help. Because look, your first pull up is a strength exercise. Your 20th pull up is a muscle stamina exercise. If that makes sense. Ship to RTC before your 29th birthday is the easiest way to understand this. Yes, that is true. Okay, somebody says somebody's having their own show over here. These fellas need to recognize you detrain at RTC before you ship to NSW prep and die prep for that matter. Fitness, as you state, needs to be consistent and not minimums merely to gain a contract. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's kind of like a no-brainer. Yeah, minimum standards. Don't even know the minimum standards. You shouldn't even be concerned with the minimum standards. Always above the minimum standards. Set new minimum standards for yourself. But yeah, you will detrain at boot camp, so you need to add in extra exercises before everybody else wakes up or after everybody goes to sleep. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is until they get in that um, 800 program again. Not sure when that's going to happen. Everybody says it's the next boot camp, but it winds up being delayed again and again. But you still need to add in some extra things. My advice is do an upper body day where you're just doing extra push-ups whenever you can. You go to the bathroom, crank out push-ups. You're before you wake up, do a bunch of push-ups and sit-ups and flutter kicks. Work all the push muscles. If you can find a way to do pull-ups on a door, sometimes some of the barracks have pull-ups in them. They used to. Pull-up bars, you might be able to get some then. Do laundry duty, do pull-ups while you're on laundry duty. Highly recommend that. But also have a leg day where you're doing lunges all the time. You're doing squats, you're doing wall sits. When you're sitting in a class, go to the back of the room and just do a wall sit. One, it helps you stay awake, and two, you're actually working your legs while you're back there. There's a bunch of little ways to do that. Just get creative. Good morning. Do you have any workout program recommendations for people in the firefighting community? Yeah, if you go to my website, Stu Smith Fitness, you'll see a CPAT workout. If you're not in the firefighting community, that's a good one to do just to prepare for those type of fitness tests. But it's pretty functional in a way that it creates a method to train that works, all the firefighting things like, pike pole stuff with a barbell, right? So many, different activities, load bearing activities, ruckings in there just to get used to carrying all your weight. Stair stepping is in there to climb stairs with all your gear. So that's a good one for that. But then, once you're active, my advice is do something more on the seasonal tactical fitness periodization model. Like, this is the fall season practice where you mix cows and cardio and weights, and then you have, the spring training where you're doing cows cardio with a running progression to it. Then the winter lift cycle and the summer cows and cardio peak. So if you can Google the term seasonal tactical fitness periodization, or you can just go with the CPAT program, and those are good ones for active duty guys as well. Best workouts to build VO2 max. You know what? Pushing hard. I mean, I've seen people do it with rowing machines. I've seen people do it with assault bikes, running. That Manchester United running workout is a beast. I don't know if you ever tried that. We've been doing it all summer and spring Probably going to stick to it and during the winter too, because it's been so effective. Basically, you run 100 fast and you jog 100 back, and then every minute on the minute, you have to do it again. And you do it for 20 sets. So that's about, what's that, 200 times 20? It's almost, I don't know, almost 2 miles of running. But it's all fast and active recovery. You might get like 10 seconds rest by the time you're back, and you got to go again hard. So that has been a good way for us to definitely improve, all those numbers. And eventually, it makes your running, your mile and a half and your 4 mile timed runs even easier. So check that out, but also Google it. There may be 10 other options for you out there to get better at VO2 max. We also run a lot of hills. We run soft sand sprints. Whew, that one sucks too. Thoughts on Jeff Nichols' plans? Last I talked to Jeff, he's planning on moving to Alabama, getting a big gym set up down there. Wish him well. I think it's great. You know, Nothing wrong with that. I grew up in the South. I like it down there. um, I need to talk to Jeff. You remind me. I think we're going to have another podcast here, Tactical Fitness Report, with each other again. Try to do that this week if our schedules can match up. All right, let's see what else we got. A couple more questions. We're running. Citrus Red says he started at 64, got 90 plus. Nice. That's good. Yeah, that bench press push up program works. Took me about 2.5 months. Yeah, that's about normal. 10 weeks. Do you like to do overhand grip? Overhand on the bar for pull ups? Seems like I can get more when I grip the bar and get that extra squeeze at an angle of my wrist a little more to get a higher chest to the bar. Yeah, I would agree. I've done pull-ups a bunch of different ways. Um, First of all, I've done them this way where I'm just holding on with my fingers and my thumbs are on the same side as my knuckles, right? Do it this way. I have found this way to be more useful if I'm doing a lot of volume. So my grip will lose out if I'm kind of hanging like this, or even like this with the bent wrist. Um, but if you're trying to get up higher, that bent wrist really makes it easier to get up higher, especially if you got to go, like get your not just your chin over the bar, but your whole neck over the bar too. So play around with multiple grips. I would recommend playing around with this one if you're cranking out volume. I'm talking like 200 reps of pull-ups in a workout. You can definitely work your grip a little more if you go thumbs under. You'll just feel it. Your forearms getting more tired. So once again, that's a good grip exercise. And then this other grip, it's more like a gymnast grip if you take a look at it. That's also a really good one that can um, just get you up a little higher than normal. So I do all three. Just depends on what I'm trying to do. For dive prep, are there any exercises you have for breath holds and managing mental stress when the heart rate's high underwater? You know what? Just get in really good shape so you can do a couple of nose breaths. Breathe in through your nose, out your mouth. If you have your mask on, you can lift your mask up. That has a way of getting your heart rate down a little bit faster. If you can't do that, just mouth breathe if you have to, but you'll probably have better results if you can nose breathe on some of those, in between sets. But primarily it's managing efficiency in the water so you're not crazy tired when you do an underwater swim. So where I see people screw up is they're just constantly stroking, take some 15, 16 strokes to get across 25 yards of a pool. Way too much work. It should take you 4 strokes to get across the pool because it's all straight arm, big double arm pulls, hold that glide, kick and recover, real tight streamline, hold that glide, bam, double arm pulls. No reason why you can't do it in 3 or 4 strokes. Seriously, it's all gliding. And then you'll see you're not as tired as if you were doing 15 kicks and arm pulls. It just makes you exhausted. You won't recover from it in between sets. It's all about efficiency. Then your breath holds aren't as hard. All right, let me see. We got any others over here? Looks like we're done. All right, so folks, I gotta go. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. I got something for you over here. If you go over to stewsmithfitness.com, check out the programs. You can save 15%, live15 coupon code. Also, if I missed your question, some reason I skipped right over it, apologize. Email me, stew@stewsmith.com. But if you want to see the latest in articles and programs, stewsmithfitness.com is where you do all that. So, yeah. The last question, Stu, I'm adjusting your workout programs to fit me. How do I know if I'm doing too much or not enough? Should I be sore after every workout? I mean, soreness is something that happens, especially if you're new to a particular exercise or a style of exercise. But I want you to read this article if you are adapting workouts to fit you. Even though it's titled Test Article, the actual title of this article is called Adapting Programs to Your Level of Performance and Still Reach Goals. And it will tell you what you're looking for there and how to do it. So, all right, folks, I guess that's it. I got to take off. I will chat with you guys tomorrow. Send some swim videos if you want. I got a couple that I'm ready to share, but can always use some more for the CSS critique show that is tomorrow. Same time, about 9:30ish. I will see you then. You guys have a good one.